What is up, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another video and a very quick first look of the ADX-TG. I know you've been waiting for this one, and coming to you almost live from Athens, Greece. We get to take a first look. Now, I haven't ridden the unit yet, so I've just seen the presentation. I haven't ridden it. We're just gonna do a walk around first video. I have a secondary camera here where we're gonna go into detail and show you what Sim wants us to know about this thing. So, in the scooter off-road market, we do have a couple of competitors, none of which are in the 400cc class. You have your ADV 350 from Honda, which is actually a 330cc with about 29 horsepower. You have your Kymco DTX, which is also just about a 300cc. Sim has the ADX 300 for those. But the TG sits alone in the market as kind of a different recipe. You take the recipe of the in-frame engine and transmission scooter of the TL, of the AK550 and of the T-Max, and you dress it up in an off-road style scooter. It's a great idea, honestly, because for off-roading you do want that weight distribution, you do want that maneuverability, that agility, more so than on a regular scooter. You want that unsprung mass, especially on the rear, to have better handling when the going gets tough. So I'm gonna take this secondary camera and I'm gonna take you around the machine to show you exactly what Sim wants us to know. First of all, starting off in the handlebar region, do we have the keys? No, we do not have the keys. So this is an LCD color display. We have only one display type, nothing special about that. The front forks are 41 millimeters front forks, and they come all the way up with a triple tree. I really love to see that. On the front end, we got our LED lights and the saber-tooth looking design. They're really proud of the saber-tooth design. We have upside down 41 millimeter forks, like I said, 275 mil disc up front with a quad piston caliper. Off-road oriented tires. We have a 15-inch wheel on the front. We have the radiator here, a little bit exposed, but you could probably get a radiator guard for it. We have a bit of an engine guard here that's made of plastic, but the engine is a tad bit exposed. Shouldn't be quite a problem. It has a couple of protection, like for the sump guard, for the oil drain bolt, there is protection. We do have a side stand and a center stand. One interesting thing to note is here we have a keyless system, but the engine, which Sim did a lot of work in putting all of the mass of the scooter, the engine, the transmission with the centrifugal wet clutch, and the battery all here, and the fuel tank is all here. So all of the big weight on the scooter is right here in the middle between the two wheels. Also, the air filter is somewhere up here. It's not down, it's all the way up here to drawing clean air when you're doing off-road. Looking under the seat, can we? No, we cannot. We will see that in the next video, but it's kind of the same as the Maxim TL. Moving on back to the back of the scooter, this is where it gets interesting. We do have a chain drive, and we do have a normal motorcycle style swing arm. This swing arm is 20% longer than the Maxim TL, but it's the same weight. And in terms of suspension, we have a monoshock on the rear and a multi-link off-road style coupling for the rear monoshock. This should be excellent off-road. I am very, very curious to try it out, and I will try it out off-road. On the back, a 220 mil brake disc with a single piston caliper. Should be adequate brakes, but we will see about that. Also on the rear, LED lights all around, again with that saber-tooth motif. Like I said, they are very, very proud of this design. Moving on around to the machine, we do have recessed passenger footrests. We do have this nice long floorboards and a cutout section here, which is very important, and I'll show you in a little bit. And also this Hyper VVS. What is Hyper VVS? Well, Hyper VVS is basically kind of like Honda's VTEC system or other variable valve timing systems. The engine is a 399cc single cylinder dual balance shaft, so it should be remarkably smooth, but we'll see that on the test ride, with variable valve timing for the intake only. So it's a 4-valve setup. We have 2 for intake, 2 for exhaust, and we have variable valve timing for the intake side. What does that mean? It means at low RPM, the engine can produce 90% of its torque from 4,500 RPM. But also, once you get past 5,500 RPM, the engine can switch the valve timing for the intake and produce a lot more maximum power. So in its current spec, the engine produces 35 horsepower, a peak output of 35 horsepower, and also 37 Newton meters of torque at 5,500 RPM. But 90% of that torque is available starting from 4,500 RPM, which is something that I really have to ride, because scooters, unlike motorcycles, where you can choose how you ride, you can choose what RPM your engine stays at. Scooters, you can't do that. The transmission settings choose at what RPM your engine sits. So what I've come to realize in this year's testing scooters that have high torque outputs feel much more punchy than scooters with high horsepower output. So the fact that they were focused on getting the torque output as high as possible from as low RPM as possible should make this thing feel extremely punchy and extremely quick. And if you're doing off-road, this is kind of what you need. You need that instant throttle response when you open up the gas, when you need to raise the front wheel a little bit to go off over an obstacle. It's an interesting ride. It's gonna be an interesting ride. It's an interesting machine. What else didn't I cover? So, told you about the engine. Oh yeah, fuel tank. In terms of fuel tank, we got a 13-liter fuel tank, and with this variable valve timing, should be able of about 350 kilometers of fuel range. That needs to be tested, but mathematically it should be around there. And yeah, I told you about the floorboards. So first, in terms of riding position, you can have your regular scooter riding position, either like this or with your feet extended, but also because of the floorboards, you can put your legs all the way back here and you can actually ride it standing. And right here on the back, it's tapered downwards, so you can get a good feel for it, and you can straddle it between your legs and you can hold on to it just with your legs. This is something new. Off-road scooters, I don't know of anyone on the market that you can do that straight from the factory that's currently on the market. You can get for the Honda XADV 750 optional foot pegs, but that costs extra money. But this thing, with a little bit of clever design, they were able to give you a riding position, a standing riding position that actually feels comfortable and that you can actually control the unit, as you can see. So, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and stick around for more coverage of the ADX 400. I'll catch you in the next one. Take care out there, everyone, and ride safe. Bye.